Knowledge was passed through bloodlines and initiates of water wisdom. Since the beginning of time, Mami Wata, Nomo mothers, river priestesses, and queen mothers encoded cosmology into daily life. Wisdom recorded for millennia became text seized by the uninitiated and traders not of the mother's bloodline, jealous that without it they could never become high priestesses. Just as the jackal and the fox could not tolerate Amma's instruction, ultimately subsequent single-sex males realized the spiritual authority of the mother could not be conquered without distortion. Sacred feminine practice was public, not private. It was for the benefit of the land. So when we are speaking of sacred feminine practice, it was communal, observational, consequential, because the decisions made by the priestesses who, according to their various gifts, talents, and abilities that were trained and refined through rites of passage, their roles were much like, we would say, a Department of Defense, a Department of Education, a Department of Ecology, a Department of Health, divided along those lines of rulership and throughout different cities and different regions and the world through the Mother Confederation. Locally, the sacred feminine in the community was seen as a public service. The observations that were done were both done through the discipline of lunar observation and the skills of astronomy, as well as to the delivery of messages that the priest made and the consultations that were given, that the consequences of this guidance were seen. Because the decisions made affected agriculture, affected inheritance, war timing, and the succession of priestesses. What was clear to everyone is that not every woman was a priestess, and the Great Mother's Law was not always facilitated by a woman. Though energy was the same between genders, the origin of androgyny meant that initiations were different for men and women. To create the necessary spiritual balance for the spiritual insight, those of and those outside of the bloodline could communicate, especially when seeking to earn positions of authority. A woman's authority did not come from inner knowing alone, therefore, but from her demonstrated ability to read relational patterns accurately over time. Lunar observation was the root ritual because the primary sacred feminine ritual was not about meditation, prayer, or even manifestation. It was about lunar observation, tracking the moon against the fixed stars, patterns recognized over time, the interactions, the correlating positioning, and bodily states of the females within the groups would deliver specific information about what happened during lunar phases, patterns of menstruation, downloads from Great Mother, the collective organized reporting of the data, the outcomes based on this recording to determine cycles of fertility, phases of initiation for projected births, and the souls that were coming through particular transits, how this would in fact affect the weather and the health of the collective. These lunar observations are the original intuitive calibration systems that were utilized amongst the priestesses that sat on the womb throne of the Black Mother. Trust was built through repetition, not belief. And this is crucial because one's lunar observation skills prove themselves again and again and again. There was no hiding beneath a stack of reports. There was no political punditry. There was none of that. It was how well was the community's health? How prosperous was the community? How much confidence did the community have in the priest order, the priestess that were serving the community? Did lunar observations accurately tell of right actions? And what were those actions that did not create the cosmically aligned outcomes? What were their consequences of being right or wrong? How was it defined? Always in alignment with cosmic law. Always in alignment with Ma'at. The decisions affected agriculture. Was there a good crop under their direction? It affected inheritance. Is the community enriched by the inheritance rulings over the last year? Did the decisions positively affect war timing, when to initiate defense or offense? Did we overcome enemy attack through their guidance? Were the decisions about the succession of the incoming line of priest agreeable? Was it a smooth transition? Has it been beneficial for the collective? These are the reasons priestesses held authority. This is why their counsel was sought before kings outside of their domain for millennia, even after the ages and ages of their usurpation. This is why balance isn't ideological, but functional. As human beings, we know the difference.
From sand and starlight the story coils, old as the Nile, sharp as iron, bright as tomorrow. One bloodline, many worlds. Memory carried in scales and scripture, in steel and song, in code that glows within.